Listen, before we let you go, we've got about 1 minute left, and I want to give you a chance to do what we let everybody do, and that is do some shameless self-promotion. Tell the folks how they can find you, find your music, get in touch with you, follow what you're doing.
Absolutely. So I'm on all the streaming services and on social media. My handle is Suzi Kory, so at SUZIKORY. And my website is the easiest way to find everything in one place, which is www.suzikory.com.
Fantastic. We want to thank you so much for coming and spending time with us here today and wish you all the luck in the world. Please do. We're serious about you being part of the family and wanting you to keep in touch, and we'd love for you to come back and see us again.
You are both incredible. Thank you for having me on your show. It was so much fun.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Suzi Kory, and here's the song that she was referring to. It's called simply Time. Canada's Suzi Kory, a little bit of a different type of feel there from Pretty Little Things that she opened with. Thank you very much, Suzi Kory. So glad to have you here with us today on the David Bowers Awards. And we have a group from Brooklyn, New York, standing by. getting close to home, guys. I'm from upstate, up in the suburbs, about a couple hundred miles out. But you know how it is in New York. Anything north of New Rochelle is upstate. But I was a little further upstate than that. Well, welcome aboard, guys. We're going to be talking to the guys from Shiffley in just about 3.5 or 4 minutes. But first, we want you to listen to these synth rockers from Brooklyn who have opened for 21 Pilots, Night Riots, Plain White Tees, and more. They've surpassed 1 million streams on Spotify and have released a video with some of their favorite quarantine pastimes. And we'll have to look into that. Meanwhile, right now, let's listen to Shiffley and Rich Kids. They call themselves Shiffley, not to be confused with Shiftless, and they are the Messrs. Jenks, Gaines, Contreras, and Kilo. Sounds like an attorney's office, but they make some pretty good sounds. Let's bring them on in here and say hello to them and see what we can find out about Shiffley. Welcome aboard, guys.
Hey, David. How's it going?
Hey, great. Thank you so much for joining us today. Glad all four of you could get here. And for our listeners, we have two Alexes, Alex Jenks and Alex Gaines. Then we have Brian Contreras and Sean Kilo and Alex Jenks. since you were the gentleman I was in touch with setting this whole party up, I'm going to let you take control on your end, and perhaps you could open by introducing the guys and tell us a little bit about each one.
Sure. So I'm Alex Jenks. I guess you introduced me first, so I'll be Alex 1 for this interview.
There you go.
I'm going to take that control right now because I never get it. But Alex, Brian, and I are old friends from high school, and we've been playing together since we were 15, 16 years old. We grew up on Long Island in one of the suburbs out there, and we actually met Sean on Craigslist, of all places, where through Craigslist success story. Yeah. So Sean's also from Long Island. He's the same age as us. Luckily, he wasn't lying about that on the Craigslist ad.
Yeah, you can't take chances with that.
Exactly.
That conjures up all kinds of jokes.
Really.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of those where everybody's parents had to come to the meeting too. Yeah, I don't know if that says enough about our personality that we found our bass player on Craigslist at the age of 15.
Well, that tells us you're really open to taking chances and working outside of the lines. But that's great, really. How long have you guys been together now?
Let's see. I guess with Shiffley, we've been together for about 6 years, 7 years. But we've been playing together for a lot longer, maybe 10, 11, 12 years even at this point.
Awesome. Kind of a story like John and I. We're old friends from high school, too. Of course, we didn't go to the same high school and we didn't go together, but he grew up in Boston. I grew up in upstate New York. But seriously, though, we were old friends from radio back in the, back a long time.
Early 70s, back when the dinosaurs ruled the world.
Long ago in a galaxy far away. And we got together about 8-9 years ago and started talking about how much we missed radio and how much radio today was sucky. And we decided, hey, why don't we just go ahead and do our own show the way we want to do it? We don't have to be beholden to anybody. We don't have any corporate monsters coming in and telling us what to do. And if we mess it up, then hell, we mess it up. We won't be the first ones and more than likely not the last ones. But anyway, besides the serious music you're making, Rich Kids, that was a tune from last year, right?
Yeah, that one was from November 2020 is when we released it. But I'm going to let Alex Gaines actually tell the story here. Alex, 2 seconds.
Go, Alex,
yeah,
2.
So that one, we worked on it last year. It's the first of many singles on this next release cycle. And it's sort of just about, like, back in our high school days, sort of like us being like the nerds versus like the rich kids who just go down the hallway and own the place, and us sort of aspiring to be that,
island,
but loathing it. So it's a song about loathing and sort of making fun of materialism.
And there are a bunch of rich kids out on the island. I've been there not in a long, long time. And from what I see, it hasn't changed in that respect. No,
you're not missing much.
Well, somebody told me once. Matter of fact, I was in the Army with a guy from the island, and he told me it was a great place to be from, and as far from as you could be. But that's we're back into opinions there.
I think it's a love-hate relationship.
Really? Now you talk about this cycle you're in. And I know we're going to be playing your most recent release, and I should say most recent hit, after we finish talking with y'all. But what is this cycle? How many tunes are you looking to make an album out of it? What is the cycle exactly?
Well, it's a 14 song rather kind of project. Alex Gaines is our main songwriter. Really, he's been, just an engine for us, just, cranking out tunes consistently for a long time. And so he has like all this music that he's been putting out, and we've been working on the 14 tracks all together for the past, I guess, year and a half at this point. Which has been, pretty fun, pretty crazy too. Yeah, but it's funny. We kind of finished it. We finished the whole thing, tracking and getting the mixing and everything, and then the pandemic hit when we were getting ready to Rich Kids the first time, so we had to put a hold on that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we were at. I'm gonna let somebody else talk for a little bit too, because I feel like I'm taking up all the airspace just about what.
Oh, that's all right. I'm going to let somebody else talk too. I'm going to let John Bon Jovial field this one. Go ahead.